Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Art Appreciation. And as a review, we're now in Module 4, History and Development of Philippine Arts. We're now in Lesson 4.4, Soulmaking, Appropriation, and Improvisation. And here's the learning outcomes of this lesson. To discuss concept of soulmaking, appropriation, and improvisation. Next, develop student creativity in any form that develop their potential in soul making, appropriation, and improvisation. So let's start it. So let's discuss first the soul making. What is soul making? Soul making, it is a form of creating stories or transforming short moments into an image or symbols. Or shall we say, showing or expressing yourself through image or symbols. And according to Narciso 2021, it is an alternative for knowing ourselves and looking into the deep and reality of what we are doing for our everyday life. And yes, it's true. Through soul making, we might see or know ourselves better because we can show our feeling, our emotion, or even the true version of ourselves. And one of the purpose of soul making is to awaken the artistic side of you. It is an act of uniting your primal self and skills development that provides a path to discover techniques in art production. And as what I've said, we can express our feelings, our emotion, or even the true version of ourselves, because not all people are capable in showing themselves in many people. And here's the categories of soul making. First is crafting image. It refers to the act of imagining or presenting something in any medium, such as painting, sculpting, drawing, storytelling, poetry, dancing, composing, or taking notes. Second, crafting stories. The act of writing, engraving, criticizing, commenting, and creating stories. The stories can be presented such as object, music, image, and words. Third, crafting instruments. Transforming objects into musical instruments, allowing us to discover balance and harmony in order to produce entertaining, enhancing, and magical sound. That's an example of it.
Number 4. Crafting movements. Life itself necessitates constant movement punctuated by a variety of beats. It is unavoidable that we perform on a daily basis depending on the circumstance and situation. Transforming trees, images, symbols that connect with people, understanding culture, and embodying tolerance, peace, and imagination. Crafting techniques. Various experiences stimulate a man's intelligence, which stimulates creativity in synthesizing, resulting in artwork such as photographs, puppets, masks, and many others. Crafting techniques refers an artist's reflection of his life and experiences in any pieces of art. Seven Dimension Principles. Curiosity. Curious approach to life and quest for continuous learning. Inquisitive interest and other concerns which lead to inquiries or feeling that arouses especially for uncommon characteristics. Experiential. See it for yourself, do it for yourself. Participatory learning. Eagerness to learn from some things, desire to invent, and experiment things. Sensory. Heightened sensory experience. See, taste, touch, hear, smell, feel it, and sense it. Sensation of conveying impulses from nerves which causes to feel and convey feelings. Transfiguration. Going up in a smoke, meaning willingness to embrace the unknown and be changed by it. Alteration in appearance and flow of transformation. System thinking. Knowingness that all things are interconnected. Balance art and science. Whole brain is thinking. So it refers to brainstorming of so the last one is balancing mind and body. Cultivating grace, fitness, pause.
So, what is appropriation? Appropriation of an artistic content refers to the borrowing of images or reusing elements within a new work or recognized from different sources and create new art form. And it is described as experimentation in which specific angles are changed in order to deviate from the main concept. And as a result, its value and its meaning also changes. Appropriation in artistic content does not imply stealing, but rather improving an art form in order to create new content of art. Why do artists use appropriation in contemporary art? Since the goal of the artist is to recontextualize the object and images in different way or technique that can be in a form of repetition, framing, and enlargement. And they believe that when borrowing existing imagery or elements, this allows the viewer to negotiate the meaning of the original in different, more relevant, and more current content. As an example, the picture of the Last Supper painting shows different context from the original one, as we can see that they are in female figure instead of showing the apostles and Christ in the Last Supper, which is the original one. So there are three types of cultural appropriation. First is the object appropriation, second is the content appropriation, and the third one is the subject appropriation. In object appropriation, this refers to the concrete and tangible work of art owned by early people and is also adopted by a person or group of people. In other words, it occurs when the position of tangible work of art such as paintings and sculptures is transferred from members of one culture to members of another culture. As an example, Picasso famously appropriated motifs which originated in work of African carvers. Second example is the removal of friezes by Lord Elgin, transported from the Parthenon to Britain. And then the third one is the transfer of a native North American theme to our European museum. And another example for this is if I travel to Thailand and I purchase locally made or locally produced tourist art, then I would have engaged what we call object appropriation. And for the second category or types of cultural appropriation is the content appropriation. This refers to the adoption of works that are intangible. This can be in a form of poetry, stories, musical compositions, and likes. It differs from object appropriation since object appropriation is for tangible artwork. Well, this content appropriation, let us remember that it refers to those artworks which are intangible. An example for this is a musician or singer who sings the song of another culture. This musician has engaged in a content appropriation as the writer who retells stories produced by a culture other than his own. Another example for content appropriation is when Akira Kurosawa borrows plot from Shakespeare's plays and reuses them in his film. And in content appropriation, there are two subcategories. The first one is the style appropriation, and the second one is the motive appropriation. And in style appropriation, artist produces works with stylistic elements in common with the works of another culture. They do not reproduce but still take something from that culture. An example for this style appropriation is a culturally mainstream Australian who paint in the style of Aboriginal people. For motive appropriation, it can be related to style appropriation, but only basic motifs are appropriated. This occurs when artists are influenced by an art of a culture other than their own, without creating works in the same style. And let's go for the last type of cultural appropriation. This is the subject appropriation. So, subject appropriation occurs when the subject matter of the culture is appropriated. For example, distorting the insider's culture by taking a subject matter into the context and not considering the underlying elements that can be executed in an offensive way. Also, this is called as voice appropriation. This is when outsider represents the lives of insider in the first person. For example, Hillerman, who has written about American Indians, he set many of his works or his novels among Navajo Indians of American Southwest, but he himself is not a Navajo.
What is improvisation? Improvisation is an act of uttering, composing, executing, or arranging without prior preparation. The concept of improvisation is applied when you perform on the spot or spontaneously without prior preparation, or that is unplanned. This means that there is creativity involvement and the free will of a performer or an actor to improvise, such as in arranging the scenes, in sharing his or her opinion or ideas, talents and skills offhand or an impromptu. One of the examples related to improvisation is the rap battles. This is when the rapper performs freestyle or without the written lyrics. The other one is the problem solving. So improvisation can also be applied in engineering to solve a problem with the tools and materials available at hand. So, or the ability in doing something on the spot with the utilization of whatever can be found. And also, improvisation can be applied to an impromptu speech, where you share or express your ideas and feelings on the spot or without prior preparation. While in the aspect of performing arts, the actor executes, authors, or arrange the scenes, or it may be performed without the written script or choreography to follow through. The same with the theater. The actors play a dramatic role or a scene without prior practice and without the written dialogue. Now we will going to understand improvisations in various forms of art. In performing arts, music improvisations, and how improvisations can be applied in theater and in dance. First is the performing arts. It was established that improvisation can be taught in an on-the-spot or off-the-cuff moment. This occurs when an actor performs spontaneously or on-the-spot moment, or without the written script or the written dialogue, or that is unplanned. In performing arts, it can be done when an individual or the group of people performs or acting, singing, dancing, playing instruments, designing, creating, problem solving, and it can also be in puppetry, spoken word, and many others. So these activities could result to new patterns of executing certain tasks with the aid of experience and innate talents. So this also encouraged to explore and expand the actor's imagination and creative behavior. It is common in performing arts, especially to music, to improvise by playing without prior preparation, or that is unplanned, likewise with the dance. This shows that performers or the actors execute or compose off-the-cuff moment without choreography or prior practice. So however, improvisation can also be applied outside performing arts. This includes problem solving with relation to tools and materials and engineering aspect, improvised weapons by the insurgents, criminals, and the likes, which can also be used as kitchen utensils. So, the unscripted decision making or in solving the problem are involved in working what are the things or what are available at the moment. Second is the music. This type of improvisation is a combination of musical composition, emotional aid with musical instruments. This includes composing music at a spontaneous moment with response to other musicians. An experiment by Charles Lim indicated that there is an increased activity in the medial prefrontal cortex associated with an increase of self-expression, but showed regression in the self-monitoring aspects. In addition, music improvisation also occurs during a solo performance or can be enabled with the participation of the other performers. In creating and playing music creatively on the spot with the available instrument at hand, it basically elicits gratifying emotional replies from the viewers or the audience. Third is theater. Improv or impro in theater is a form of theater, usually comedy in nature, which performances are unplanned and unscripted. Everything about it is unplanned, including the actions, the characters, the dialogue, and the stories, or without prior preparation. So the picture was based from the Black Box Improv Theater with Trey Stone on October 16, 2015. So the group of performers or the actors spontaneously performs based on inspired of the words written from the box by the audience or the viewers. So they improvised it completely with the theme of comedy and with the utilization of improvised musical. The unplanned and unscripted performance of the actors are considered as improvisation. So it reveals the creativity of the actors or performers or how they arrange the scenes, they make their own dialogues, and composed lyrics offhand or on the spot. It is used in films and television. This kind of technique is used to train the actors for film, stage, and other forms that involve dramatic performances. Improvisation is also applied in the context of real setting, such as in the classroom setting, wherein the applied improvisation is used to teach the learners in solving problems, teamwork, and exposure. The other form of art is the dance. Dance is known as the act of executing movements through body mapping, shape, and dynamics. Evidently, dance improvisation is capable of evoking dramatic and thought-provoking content. It allows the dancers to have creative explorations in creating movements spontaneously or without prior preparation or choreography. It allows the performers or the dancers to connect into the deepest creative self as well as discovery. Improvisation allows dancers to explore different avenues for free expression, moving without inhibitions in space, energy, time, and shape involved, stimulate unique and innovative movements offhand or on the spot.